from 6 to 13, I was abused by 2 different men. Happened 3 or 4 times a week from age 6 to 13. When one person died, I borrowed money from 3 people in San Diego to get on a plane for the first time in my life. I'd never been on a plane, and I took Southwest Airlines, and I flew to Nashville, Tennessee, and I went to his funeral, and I sat and I poked his dead body to make sure the mother effer was dead, and then I physically spit on his fresh grave. That's how you act when you have been abused. You do not do interviews and say, oh, I'd work with him again. Oh, I'm friends with his wife. I can tell you the color of the curtains. I can tell you the wallpaper. I can tell you every little knot on the pine of the wood paneling wall that was in the house where I was abused. I can tell you the smell of his breath. I can tell you everything about the 2 people that abused me. And one is still alive. And I can tell you this, and no inkling in my whole body would I ever want him to take my virginity. I don't want to be around him. And I would be suffice to say that whenever I hear that he's dead, I'll do the same thing. Because I've confronted people, and of course he denied it, and he was believed, and I wasn't. And I put my tail between my legs and I kept my mouth shut because this man was a godly man. So long as he preached the word of God 3 times a week, he could do no wrong. And I'm sorry to say he did. And it wasn't just me, it was other people. And the flip side of that is, why would I ever date or marry a man that had those type of predator type tendencies? I know who my husband is. And whenever this allegation came out, I looked him in the eye and I said, did you effing do this? Did you, in anything? You better get it out right now and tell me. And he went and got the Bible that we have when we were married, both hands on it. I swear to you, I did not. When she posted on social media a picture of the house or the garage, that was his parents' house. He wasn't living there. I knew his dad very well before he passed away. Very well. There is no way that he's going to have his son, either one of his sons or his daughter, to come over to their house for a pool party and let a bunch of kids in his pool. And he's going to take out his car or his wife's car from a 2-car garage and let any one of his kids park in his garage, like she claims it happened in that garage. It's not going to happen. Where's the mother? How'd she get there? Where's the father? Where are they? We've got 3 of these full. They all said that the mother was on the set. Her friends from childhood, her friends that she knew for 10, 15 years, she used to run around with, they both had fake IDs, and they were quote-unquote stalk Scott and his best friend Steve Cuccio. They found out he's at the Rainbow Room, so they would try to go there to see him. They found out he's eating at Jerry's Deli at 2 o'clock in the morning after going to a club. They're going to try to show up there. How dare she ruin my husband's reputation? How dare she? For 50 years he's been in this business and not one person came forward. She thought that all these playmates were going to come forward and testify against him, to hurt him, all because he voted for Trump. I don't wish this upon anybody because it has destroyed my husband. It didn't destroy a marriage and it didn't destroy a family. But every day on social media, at least one person calls him a rapist or a pedophile, or worse stuff, you know. And every day, my husband has to walk around like he's never walked around before. He can't get in an elevator alone with a woman. He can't go to physical therapy from his shoulder surgery and be in a closed room with a woman for physical therapist. He has to leave the door open and the shades raised up. He can't go and drop off with my daughter in the car any of her friends. I have to be in the car too. This is our life now. because of this girl. And she walks around free. She needs to be held accountable. My husband is working with Congress and senators right now to have a platform to speak at Capitol Hill, that if anyone, no matter what your status is or your gender, anytime you have a sexual abuse claim, anytime, if you don't go to the police first, if you go on social media or on a PR campaign, it should just be automatically thrown out, because that shows what your intent is. People say, oh, well, it's only like, 2.01% of people that are falsely accused. Well, do you know how many people that is? It's hundreds of thousands of people. And the majority of them are men. A woman can just, have a bad experience or get drunk and have, a one-night stand and be like, oh, he raped me or he did this. You know what that does to the real rape victims? I could bury the person right now. I could bury him and all of his family members with the stuff that I know about him. But here's the thing. I believe that God will judge him, and he will meet his maker, and he will get what is deserved. I don't need to go on social media, and I don't need to name him. When we started dating, I waited a very long time. Could never be in a dark, like certain things, you know what I mean? Because those were triggers for me, bad triggers. And he was so understanding and loving about it that when all this happened a few years ago, I just knew, just looking back and the way he was with me, with our relationship and stuff, I just knew that this is not the person that this woman is claiming that he is. There's no way. Never. My parents had to hear all this. We went to St. Louis year before last during all this. It was right after we got the letter that there's going to be no charges. And after the letter of no charges, my husband still paid out of his own pocket and took 5 polygraph tests, and he passed every single one of them. In the state of California, there's 330 lie detector examiners. 330. Out of that 330, there's 60 that the police officers use and they require. One of those 60 tested my husband. It is illegal to do only one test. You have to do minimum of 2 in the state of California, so that's why there were 5. At the time, there were 8 that has the highest qualification, and that's where they do federal, like for FBI, that kind of stuff. We paid to have one of those examiners do the test, and he requires a minimum of 3. So that's where you get the 5 tests. They hook you up to it. They say certain lies to make you be untruthful. They say certain things to make you be truthful. They make you drink water throughout the test. They ask you the questions. They take everything off. They wait 15 to 20 minutes. Then you go through it again. My husband did this 5 times. He did it with 2 different types of machines. He took it with a machine, standardized machine like you see on TV, and he took it with a computerized, the state-of-the-art laptop kind. He took all 5 tests both ways. He did that long after the DA said no charges. Fast forward to after all this is said and done, we're in St. Louis, and my parents drive up because they want to see Bailey and spend time with us and stuff. I've only watched my father. He just turned 74 in February. I've only seen my father cry twice in my life. He's a tough man. Tough man. I watched my father stand in a conference room in a hotel in St. Louis, Missouri, and weep and cry. over this. Because what my mom and daddy and my brother and sisters went through, the nastiness, it broke them. Father wept, not because of what they went through, but because he knew that I had 9 seizures because of this girl. And my tumors grew that year. They doubled in size. That's why there'll be a cold day in hell before this girl ever gets a dime or breaks us. Because what she did to my mom and my daddy, my family, they didn't ask for this. When my husband was campaigning for Mitt Romney, they targeted him and then they targeted me. And then whenever they didn't get me to budge on social media, they found out that I had the Bailey Baio Angel Foundation. This is back when Facebook, where you could friend request someone and you could give them a little message when you friend requested. And after they read it, it deleted. It kind of just went away. They found out through my website, because remember I would feature angels with their names and their story on my website, my old website. That's why we had to get rid of it. By the way, not the website, but we had to get rid of everyone's stories because they were targeted. Jezebel.com. They went after my husband. They came after me. They came after the child that I lost. They came after and targeted to the point where they private messaged numerous special needs families, to the point where they would say something and, like I said, it would delete after you didn't accept their friendship. Why don't you reach up into your rotten crotch and snatch out some more rotten, retarded babies to keep Chachi relevant? Now, how am I supposed to handle that and unwarranted targeting these special needs mothers? For them to have to see that and feel that pain just because my husband's campaigning for somebody. So I went off on them. My letter to them, I called them lesbian shit asses or whatever, And I said, I think my husband has more class in his piss or something than they do. And so Jezebel.com, they targeted me, and I am forever known for calling them lesbian shit asses, and I'm a homophobic for that. It's what they say. The only 2 people at my wedding was my gay manager and my mother-in-law. Every single one of those special needs families, they would put on the comment section of the Jezebel article, and they were erasing them faster than, a stock market ticker. And so they only told one side of the story. So you better believe it, that like a dog on a bone with meat, I went after them 100%. And I would do it again and again and again